Good afternoon. Welcome to the Tuesday afternoon meeting. We may be here by ourselves. I don't see anybody.
I don't know where Commissioner Weber is. And I don't know where the liaisons are.
I got an email from Kim. She wouldn't be over here from the Expo Center.
She will?
Will not because of the fair, but she gave us an update. And I can read through that, but boy, I'm not sure which would be tomorrow. So she might be doing last minute things to get fired up. Not really seeing anybody on line either. Well, I can give an update on one thing I do have information on. Came from the event center. You're right. The fair begins tomorrow, runs through Saturday, 12 to 11. Tomorrow night, we have a country concert, Diamond Rio, and then the Thunder Mountain Pro Rodeo runs Thursday through Saturday. Of course, the fair, admission to the fair is free. Tickets for the concert and rodeo are available. We're fully staffed for the first time in 3 years and set up going very well so far. Event center, no new report on the status of the hotel, but the hotel company has asked for another extension to provide a viable plan to the PDA. The new deadline is July 26th, which would be tomorrow. Silver Lake Gift Shop, Upper State Route 504. Spirit Lake Memorial Highway remains closed. Coldwater Lake Day Use and Hummocks Trail are now open. The Mount St. Helens Visitor Center and Gift Shop continues to stay busier than usual for this time of year, fielding visitor inquiries and hosting tour groups for various companies. Interesting. Diamond Rio, little story on that. I was working for US Bank at the time, the first time when they started getting popular, and the fair approached some of us about not so much putting up the money, but guaranteeing a cost to bring them here. If the ticket sales, say whatever the cost was, 25, 30, whatever it is, if the ticket sales didn't cover the cost, would we be willing to pick up the difference? And we as US Bank said that we would. So we were kind of the sponsor with that when they first started getting popular and first came in. So that was kind of an interesting way to do it.
Did you ever have to come up with money?
We didn't. Yeah, they sold enough tickets, but we just kind of guaranteed that they could bring that show.
That's the best kind of advertising.
Yeah. Yeah. It didn't cost us a dime. And
I missed that. That's the concert or the rodeo?
concert.
Concert.
Yeah, the first time Diamond Rio, well, when I was working for US Bank, oh, wow, that's, you're back in the mid-90s.
Oh,
And this was,
I wasn't around then.
yeah,
Just back in the mid-90s.
yeah, and they were just come out with a couple hits and got popular, and they wanted to bring them here and so I forget the fair manager's name at the time. I forget the gentleman. I enjoyed him. But he approached some of the banks and said, would you guarantee if we can't get the ticket sales? And we said we would. So I thought that was kind of a unique way to get them in.
Was that the guy that went on to operate a bike
It might have been,
store?
might have
What
been.
was his name? Shoot. Anyway. All right. Well, I met with Joseph last week and he asked if I would share this update with you for the museum. Of course, this week they're at the fair, getting everything put up. And they very much appreciate the progress being made on the HVAC system. It's since the museum's going to be closed this week, they're hoping to get a lot done on the HVAC system and all the things that are required in doing that. We had been the museum had been renting storage in the basement of the Merk. And we still have stuff there. It's actually large bulkier items like carriages and things like that. And they were told to vacate. So they're negotiating an end to it because they're offsite the new storage system that moves on rails is not, I mean, they're in the process of getting that all moved to make room for everything that they've got. And they continue to be concerned about the number of homeless that find places to hide in the back alcoves. Apparently it was pretty well populated over the 4th of July weekend. That
Well, they're
appears to be
kind
a
of,
problem.
it's hard to see back in.
It is.
in there.
That's what makes it
Yeah.
an advantage. I don't know if one of those gates might be the realistic option to. Yeah.
You're just trying to get me into trouble, aren't you?
Oh, no. I think they have really appreciated the security because that's on their route to rouse them out in the mornings. That's made a difference, but on long extended weekends, then it becomes a little bit more of a problem because nobody's around. So.
Yeah.
It does remind me, that security agreement or contract ends this year, doesn't it? Or,
I think so.
We're talking with Phoenix.
With Phoenix.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that is true. Don't know if you have any other questions about the museum.
I think if I remember right, I think
you're
I got a
meeting with him.
museum. I got a tour plan with them on Thursday, I think. Yeah.
yeah, I'm curious about the funding, and I think you're probably most familiar with how they get their operations paid for, their funding.
Do funding, so their funding is either grants or the mailings that they send out to folks each
Yeah.
year, membership drives and so on. So they have 3 people on staff that the Historical Society pays for. And there's the archivist, Bill Watson is his name,
Mhm.
and Danielle Robbins, who is the education specialist. And apparently her schedule is already filled for the fall for going to the various grade schools with her traveling boxes. And then there's some secretarial help as well.
When you said Historical Society, that's a private entity or?
501c3.
501c3, and it's not particular to Cowlitz County, it's just, or is particular?
No, it is particular. Most counties have historical societies.
Yeah.
So that's pretty common throughout. What is unique, what I've been told is unique, is that we provide a building and maintenance and the director's pay. Most everybody else is all
They got to fund all of that.
prayer, yeah.
Yeah, the museum always fits a category in my mind where you can be pretty short-sighted and not support it.
Mhm, mhm.
Uh,
Yeah. Well, I think they do a pretty good job. In fact, as I was talking to him, I suggested that one future exhibit, they have one room that they have constantly changing. So it's now doing this Centennials of Longview and Ryderwood. But I was thinking what might be kind of interesting for some people is a history of banking in Cowlitz County. A lot of banks have come and gone and have merged and changed.
True story.
Yeah, yeah.
True story.
And,
Bank of Cowlitz County, I mean, you go way back.
well, I remember NBC was a bank.
Yeah.
Pretty major bank,
It's where the police,
which was Security Pacific before the police moved. in,
right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So those
But I
kinds of
think it
stories might
started
be
as
interesting to folks.
NBC, yeah.
But-
Banks like to gobble each other up.
And there used to be banks in all of the major grocery stores.
Yeah, that was a big
fad, I
thing
think.
for a long time.
Yeah.
And actually, US Bank, we put one in Senate's over, which is now, it's a hobby, you know, where they used to be,
Mhm, mhm.
or
Yes.
across from the Catlin building
Right,
there.
Right,
We had a little branch in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't see them anymore.
no.
Yeah. Yeah,
Anyway, so he might pick your brains about
yeah,
doing something like
be
that.
interesting.
Because you may have the institutional knowledge about a lot of the banks that have gone on, because you started here at US Bank, or was there? Different?
Well, no, I started with Cowlitz Bank, and then I went up north, and the little bank I was working with got bought by US Bank. And then I worked my way back down this way. But some of the old timers that I used to, it's too bad they're not around anymore. Earl Page,
Yeah, I know.
I'd listen to his stories because he went back to Bank of Cowlitz County and
No,
all that kind of stuff, it's a lot of history. You're right.
I knew Elmer and Ramona Sylvester with First Federal Savings.
Yeah.
And that was my first bank, a little savings book bank. Put the quarters and pennies in there
Yeah.
and get out every once in a while.
Just out of curiosity, or either of you, I've headed out on Saturday for the Ryderwood event. Are any of you headed out that way?
Ooh, I forgot about that.
Didn't have it
That's
on
all
my
they
list.
said. Oh, no, the Saturday event, we got invitations.
Right.
Yeah, I should probably go.
It's in my district, so I made sure that I show up, and I enjoyed when we were campaigning and visiting
Right.
those folks out there.
Do you recall the details?
Well, it's Saturday
The
and
breakfast, right? It was a breakfast.
well, they wanted us, they wanted to know if I would show up or us show up, because then they wanted to introduce us, and I'm trying to think, it was like 11 AM or 12 AM or somewhere in that area. I think they were asking Jim Walsh and some other people
Yeah,
to be out. I'd have to look at the thing again, to be honest with you.
is it on my calendar? No. And it's this Saturday. It's this Saturday.
This Saturday. And our Congresswoman is going to be out there on the 3rd, next Thursday. And I think Susan Eugenius was invited. I was invited. She wanted to talk about, because she helped with that project out there.
The Ryderwood project.
Yeah, I won't
Great.
be around, and I express my disappointment, but she will be out there, so that'll be. guess what I'm saying, one of you might want to hook with Susan Eugenius and hook up and go out and be part of that.
Yeah.
I don't see anybody else in noxious weeds. Jennifer, I saw earlier loading some stuff up. She might have been heading out to do some work. Public defense. For Ryderwood? Yeah, please. Yeah, it's 3 days, but Saturday is the one they wanted too, but
You're gonna walk in their parade?
well, I think we're gonna be introduced and I don't know if they'll have us. Well, I'll do whatever they want us to do.
Okay.
They've been good to us and
Oh, there they go.
I like that little community. Yeah, it's part of see, 11 a.m. is the celebration, or you guys see it right there at
Yeah.
noon.
That's just off the website. I've been trying to clean up my mailbox and I may have cleaned out. too
Cleaned it
much.
out really well. May have succeeded.
Yeah.
So this morning, we had a gentleman complain about the potholes on Third Avenue. I don't know if the two of you ever park on this parking lot between us and the churches. That's a city street.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's pretty, it's gotten worse over the time, the part that's in the city right away. And I don't know if we want to ask either building and maintenance or Mike to staff level to make a request that the potholes be fixed.
Yeah, I once inquired, as opposed to making a request, just fix them. Our public works fix it, but I'm told that's a no-no.
Yeah, well, yeah, because it's right outside. And of course, I think there's only one tax-paying lot. It's the house across the street.
Could-
It's the two churches don't pay and we don't pay property taxes. So it's low. I mean, I get it. It's low priority for Kelso.
But could
but
we
still,
just asking, could we do the work if they reimbursed us? Would that be okay?
That'd be all right with me.
I don't want to step on anybody's toes, but if you ask them that, hey, if you don't got time to do the work, we're willing to do it if you would pay for the materials.
I'm sure there's paperwork involved. and
Yeah.
Agreement and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, probably so.
Monday.
It's,
We'll talk to Mike on Monday.
yeah, it's also tempting to go to Home Depot and buy a couple of hacks of the stuff that you fix your own driveway with.
Yeah.
My solution is I don't go down that road anymore.
But yeah, I understand that. Actually, I drive around and I look and I think our county roads for the most part are pretty darn good shape.
Yeah. It's always interesting. I think the county does well with roads, not so much with parks. The cities kind of take care of their parks, not so much for roads.
And roads,
And it's a matter of there's a specific road tax for the county. The cities don't have it. It's all part of their general fund. So it gets shared by all the other things cities have to come up with. Except apparently they've run out of money in the city of Longview for parks. They want to have a special election. to create
yeah,
a
they're gonna
parks
throw that
district.
on a ballot, aren't they? A special assessment.
Yep.
you gotta,
Yeah.
yeah, I have thoughts on that, cautions on that type of stuff, but anything else, gentlemen? I don't think anybody else is going to join us.
All right, I guess not. I guess we're done. I'm done. I don't have anything else.
Yeah.
Okay, we will adjourn. Thank you.